All right, everyone, so we're gonna go over the trades from today. I'm sitting right now just over my daily goal, which is pretty solid. The only thing that's disappointing is that I doubled my daily goal this morning and then I gave back half my profit. So it's hard to look at the glass half full, even though I have my daily goal, knowing that maybe half an hour ago, I was double the daily goal. So let's go ahead and jump into the trades from today. We have a number of stocks on the scanners right now that are still moving higher. And yesterday was kind of a tricky day because, even though I called it a day on the early side, GMLD ended up continuing to go higher and higher and higher. Now, I did not get back in it. I just said, no, I can't break the ice here. And if you recall yesterday, I was up $2,000. It was a small green day, didn't hit my $5,000 daily goal. And I was like, nah, can't really afford to take the risk. Well, today, I got myself a nice cushion. I was up about $12,500 on the day. So I took some risk and then I gave back half of it. So that's a shame. But you know what? At the end of the day, I still have more in my pocket than I had a couple hours ago. And today's a better day than yesterday. So I saw someone say, oh, my day's ruined. I gave back, half my profit. So sort of similar to me. And I thought, well, you're still green. So, I wouldn't say your day's ruined. It's not the worst day in the world if you're still green. All right, well, let's look at my trades from this morning. So the last one that I traded was PRTG. And this one was also one of the first stocks I traded this morning. This morning I got a nice little dip trade on it off of this ascending support line right here. So it sort of squeezed up right here. Well, actually, there were two trades. So the first trade I took was at 7 a.m. So at 7 a.m., I traded PRTG. I got in at about 12. It pops up to almost 13, and I got out at like 12.50. So I ended up making about $1,200 on my first trade at 7 a.m. And I was like, nice, good, that's solid. Now, PRTG had this really nice move pre-market early, starting at like 4:30 in the morning, goes up, peaks at about 5:30, pulls back. And then at 7 a.m., I kind of thought, well, let's see if we get a little bounce here and we curl up. But I'd already identified this resistance level at around 13. We weren't able to break over it then. It pulled back, came back up, dipped down, came back up, dipped down again. And that's where I got that dip right there, which did end up giving us the break of 13. So I ended up making about $4,000 on PRTG this morning. That helped me build my cushion. You can see my P&L here, $5,167.99 on the day. And then we had NVVE. And this was the one that I did the best on. So NVVE looks like, so we first spiked up here to 640. We sell off. Then we pop up here and then we dip down. And when we came back up, we rallied back up. I got in for that rally back up through 6. And this went from 6 to 650 to 7, all the way to 750, almost to $8. It was really awesome. And in that move right there, I was up within almost an instant. I went from up $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. It dips down. I got another couple trades on it, and I got myself up 10,000 on the day. Now, where things got a little choppy for me, I had a couple spots that things got a little difficult. So I had a trade. I guess. Well, so let's see. Let me back this up. So let me remember, where was this? Yeah. So that trade was fine. So it was right in here, right here. I took a 10,000 share trade, 10,000 share position. It's a pretty big position. I got in at 7 and I was like, all right, let's go. I'm looking for this thing to squeeze through the high of 760, and it dumps down here, and I gave back about 15% of my profit on the day. I went from up about 10,000, almost 11,000 to up $9,000. So I was like, ooh, that was not so great. After that trade, that's when I got the dip on PRTG off ascending support. So that got me back to up about 10,000. And then coming into the open, I kind of was sitting tight. I was like, I'm just gonna be patient. And NVVE rips up, it dumps down, it then rips back up into a halt. And I was like, all right, you know what? If this thing is halting up, I'm gonna watch this on resumption for a dip and a rip. And at that point, I was at my high of day at about 10,000. I rallied back up. So on resumption, I got in, it dips for a second. I got in right here, 10,000 shares for the breakthrough 750. And I was like, once again, here we go, looking for 8. And it flushed down to 680. And on that one trade, I lost let's see, I went from up 12,000 on the day to up about 8,000. Lost like 4,500 in one trade, almost 5,000. And it dips down here. And I sort of watched it in this area right in here. It comes back up right around here. I got back in looking for that curl back up, and I lost a second time on it. All right, so now I'm getting kind of frustrated, right? A little emotionally activated. And following that, I took a trade on PRTG, which had halted up right here. It opened and dipped and ripped, and I was like, all right, here we go. And then it dumps, and I was like, you know what? That's it. And that put me to up only 5,000 on the day. And again, I say only $5,000 on the day because $5,000 is still a great day. But now I'm looking at PRTG and I'm wondering the same thing as yesterday with GMLD, GLMD. Is this thing going to go higher? Is it going to keep rallying? Are the dips going to keep getting bought up? Or was yesterday just amazing on GMLD, GLMD, whatever it was, and we're not going to see that type of move again today? I don't know. If we look at this one from yesterday, we had resistance at the 200 EMA, and then we ripped through it. So this right now, we've got some resistance. So where was that? That was like right around here, sold off, and then ripped through it. So PRTG right now, it's kind of right around 15, which is good, but look at the daily chart. Back up to the daily chart, we're kind of right at that 200 EMA. Now, if we can hold over that, we've got room up to 16, a little resistance there, and then we've got room higher. So, the float on is 600,000 shares. The 5-minute chart is kind of working. Like it looks like it's got some potential, but I'm in a spot right now where I just have to say, look, the glass is half full at $5,000. I'm still at the daily goal. Let's not get reckless. Look, if this gave a great opportunity, but the problem is when you look at this stock, you look at the level 2 on it, and you could see, well, right now you've got 2-cent spread. Oh, that's not bad. 16-cent spread, right? All of a sudden the spreads start to open up a little bit, 20-cent spread. And you realize it wouldn't take much to be down 50 cents a share on something like this. And I've already seen it do some sort of jackknife drops where you get those flushes. So since it's already doing that kind of price action similar to what GLMD did yesterday, I'd be inclined only to trade on dips. But I'm kind of actually back to a very similar position as yesterday, which is that now I feel like I don't have the risk. I don't have the risk tolerance to take the trades. I blew, half of my daily gains in like just a handful of trades. And now, if I try to get myself sort of to rebuild a cushion and rebuild some confidence, I'd have to kind of start small. It's 10:30 in the morning. It's starting to get a little later in the day. Is it really a good idea? Maybe I should just take the $5,000 and walk away. That's kind of the question, right? When do you walk away? That's always a question. And there's a book here that I always like to recommend called Quit, The Power of Knowing When to Walk Away. Traders who walk away when they're in the green, even if they're leaving money on the table, are learning a really good lesson. You've got to pay yourself. And if you're constantly chasing the market, you're just going to end up getting yourself really frustrated. And I'm already a little frustrated today because, it was my best day of the month. And then I gave back $7,000 of that. If I went red 7,000, I'd be at max loss. So I basically lost the equivalent of a daily max loss in like 15 minutes, which is disappointing. It happens. Trading volatile markets, easy come, easy go. I'm grateful that I'm still green, but I could have easily lost more and really gotten myself into a jam. So while I'd love to see PRTG continue higher, my gut feeling right now is that, look at that move. Look at that. See what I'm talking about? Is that I just can't tolerate that. I can't handle that, right? So that just peaked at $5.19 and then dropped $1 a share down to 14, right? It's just like, who wants to mess around with that? You take even a couple thousand shares, next thing you know, I'm back to flat on the day. It's one thing to go from double the daily goal to the daily goal. It's another thing to go from double the daily goal to max loss. That's where emotions get big. Because you know what, a day like today, I can close this down right now and say, all right, you know what, $5,000, boom, that's a good green day. And a week from now, I don't even, like today's, I totally don't even remember. It's gone. It's water under the bridge. But if I kept trading today and started dig the hole, and I go from, from 12,000 to 7,000 to 6,000 to 4,000 to 3 to 2 to 1 to -2 to -5 to -8 to -10, that's a day I'm going to remember. I'm going to remember it because I'm going to be furious. I'm going to be so disappointed in myself. I'm going to say, why didn't I walk away sooner? And so, if you're going to be asking yourself that question, then, that only happens so many times before you realize I really do need to trust my instinct here and walk away in these moments. Yesterday I was a little more conservative. I didn't push it as hard as I could have. Today, I pushed it a little harder and then gave back some profit. So that's also kind of the luck of the draw for you. It just so happens that today wasn't as clean as yesterday at the open. But, this is trading. Like I said, easy come, easy go. And at the end of the day, if you're walking away each day, maybe not every single day, but each week, each month, with a little more money than you had at the beginning, I think you're doing pretty well. You're part of the, 10% who are finding success. So you don't want to beat yourself up too much if you've got something that is working, generally speaking. It's easy to compare yourself to someone else and say, oh, well, geez, look at them. They're up twice as much as me today, or 3 times or 10 times or whatever it is. But, that person might also be down 10 times as much as you when they're having a red day, and you might not know about it, but that could be certainly the case. So, today's a day where I ended up hitting one of my triggers that forces me to have to walk away, which is that I gave back half my profit. You give back half your profit, especially after you cross your daily goal. The right thing to do is just to, it's to call it quits. Walk away with some dignity and a little bit of profit still in your pocket. Don't let yourself get completely wiped out. It's just not worth it. And you know what? I'll come in tomorrow. I'll be aggressive if we see some good action. And who knows, maybe tomorrow will be a really solid day and we will see, I'll take that $12,000 cushion and I'll keep trading at the open. Next thing you know, I'm up 15, 17, 18, 22,000, 25,000. I have 2 days this year where I was up $40,000. I wouldn't have had those days if when I was up 12,000, I didn't continue to take risk. In fact, increase the risk and get more aggressive. When the market's hot, I want to lean in, double down, get aggressive. And when it's choppy like this and we're seeing these jackknives, I just know that this is the type of stuff that can really wreck me. And I already, to be honest, pushed my luck a little too much today, which is why I drew down as much as I did. I could have walked away a little sooner. I also could have reduced my size a little sooner. Now, NVVE, when that one came back up, at that time, I was like, I loved the daily chart. I was like, if this can get through, this kind of $8, $9 level, we've got a big window up to 17. Then we've got gap fill up to 31. And then we've got even more room up to 200 moving average. I was like, this has a ton of room. The float's 300,000 shares. This thing is definitely worth watching. So, I was excited about it from that perspective. I thought that it was the best looking chart. PRTG, I was like, well, it's kind of the backside of this move, right? It had a nice move pre-market. Yeah, I wish I had traded that, but it was early. And now, what do we really expect? Is it really going to get all the way back up to there? I mean, it could, but it's not as likely. We'd probably be better off trading the front side of something. And so, getting back into this and kind of pushing my luck on it, that was risky because this is not the front side of the move. Now, I suppose the best news of today is that I had a great day in the small account. And so when I had the profits there, it makes today a little bit better. And I focused on sort of exactly the strategy that I've been talking about for the small account challenge, which is trading the front side of the move, getting aggressive, one trade. And that was it. I got one trade, great day, and I'll do a recap for that separately. But, but that's kind of a silver lining for today. So, all's well that ends well. It's a green day, a little bit over the daily goal, and, I'll live to trade another day. And look, hey, if PRTG ends up going crazy, that would be awesome. I mean, if something else starts going crazy, that would be great. Unfortunately, I would have to break the ice on that stock, taking very little risk because I've already given back so much, which at this time of day or later, it's just it doesn't really make sense. That was kind of my issue yesterday with GLMD. I was like, what am I going to buy 500 shares of this? What's even the point? Now, of course, when it goes up $8, $10 a share, you think, I guess that could have worked. But still, generally speaking, I feel like it's just like, what's the point? My next best chance for a nice winner is tomorrow. That's the reality. It's tomorrow. And, we could have a nice stock tomorrow, and in 10, 15 minutes, I could make $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. To make $5,000 right now today, I mean, we're not going to have breaking news that's going to come out, most likely. So it's not going to be a breaking news play. So it would be one of these that starts to pull away and goes parabolic. So in order to make $5,000, I'd have to accumulate a fairly large position on a pullback, which if I caught a jackknife would carry the risk of losing $1 a share or more. And either that, or I'd have to buy breakouts into the highs, which would be pretty risky, especially on a stock of this price range. So you see, it's not too hard to talk myself out of taking any more trades when I just sort of realized that my window of when I do the best is closed for the day. This is when I would have done really well on PRTG if I had been trading it. This area, well, yeah, it's no surprise I'm not up that much on it. That's not easy. NVVE, okay, I did well in that candle right there. That makes sense. I think I maybe made a little bit in there, but gave back a little off the top. And then this, with the rejection, got choppy. Okay, all right, that's fine. Still green on the name, green on the 3 stocks I traded today. So life is good, and I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning. And I always try to lead by example, by telling you guys, look, you got to be disciplined here. You've got to know when to walk away. You can't just give in to that stubborn impulse to just keep trading and trading and trading and chase after those losses. Because next thing you know, the loss gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and you're just screwing up. So anyways, that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoy this recap. Make sure you stay tuned for my small account challenge recap. That'll be coming later today. And I hope you guys are subscribed to the channel, and also put a link down in the description to do a 2-week trial here at Warrior Trading if you want to watch over my shoulder while I'm trading live for the next 2 weeks. So that'll be posted at the top of the comments and linked in the description. And I'll remind you, as always, that trading is risky. My results aren't typical, so manage your risk, take it slow, and I'll see you guys back here bright and early tomorrow morning.